Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you all to this live session, an exclusive session brought to you by the International Open University in collaboration with Aira Consulting. And in this session, we will be discussing about how you can overcome your stage fright if you have. So one of the things that we want to discuss as we get started off in the session is that public speaking, and we are waiting for people to join the session live at the moment. So we're just going to let others join in. But as the others are joining in, and for those of you who've already connected with us live, we need to understand that one of the greatest concerns that many people have in their life is public speaking. And we call it glossophobia, or the fear of public speaking. It's a fear which is a real fear. And inshallah, in today's discussion, we'll try and see how you can address some of those concerns. We also have an upcoming public speaking course, which is going to start very shortly. We will be talking about that as well. And there's a lot more that we have to share in today's session. So please stay tuned with us for this session. We're going to start in a very short while from now, another couple of minutes as we let people move into the session and they get the notification and they start coming in. We will then go live, inshallah ta'ala. So request everyone to stay put for another couple of minutes, and then we will start off the session. Thank you so much. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're back with the session, and we're going to get started off about the course today that we have, which is on overcoming stage fright. But before we get this discussion started, let me quickly introduce Aira Consulting to you. Aira Consulting is a capacity development organization. We started off in 2021, in the November, 29th of November, 2021. And we have set up our operations in the Gulf, in the United Arab Emirates. And we're trying to focus on working with corporates, we're working with educational institutions, and our objective is to focus on skill development session. We firmly believe as an organization that the way forward for people, apart from seeking academic qualification, and I know that most of the people are on that path of acquiring academic knowledge. In fact, everyone does that now at the basic level. Most of the people are graduating. But where is it that you will have an edge? The edge comes in through your skill development. And at Aira Consulting, we focus precisely on this. We focus on how you can develop your skills, how you can enhance your skills. Because once you have these skills, you will now be competing with people who are in the higher rank positions, because you have the qualification, but in addition to that, you're coming in with a lot of rich skills. Even if you're a working professional and you're listening to this, understand that your growth in your career, in your profession, whichever field you are in, is incomplete without you continuously striving to develop your skills, to build on your skills. And you'll be surprised to know that many people consider this to be, in the secondary list. It's not in the priority list. How many people do you know in your circle? Ask yourself, whether you're a career professional, you're an entrepreneur, or you're a student, ask yourself, how many people do you know in your circle who are aspiring to work on developing their skills, who take up these short courses, who take up programs during the work weekend, which can enhance their level of knowledge, which can develop their skills? How many people do you know who do that? It's a very small percentage, minuscule. So at Aira Consulting, we actually catch in on this. We try to reach out to people and make them understand the importance of skill development. Skill development has no age limit. You have to continuously strive to build and develop your skills. You can never say that you've reached a state of perfection. You feel you have a skill, you'll find that there are still other skills which you have not acquired. You may acquire all the skills that you had targeted for yourself, and you will still realize that the way disruptive innovation is happening, the way technology is changing our lives, there will be another scope for you to develop further more skills and develop yourself as an individual. So at Aira Consulting, we primarily focus on this skill development. It's a critical factor. Now, coming to the topic, overcoming stage fright, and about myself. As a co-founder of Aira Consulting, I'm also a trained public speaker. I have also been associated with the International Open University. Well, alhamdulillah, I have been with them for close to 10 years. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It's been an honor to be with the International Open University and share my knowledge, as well as learn from the university and from all the diverse professionals that we have who are spread across the globe. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So my experience as a public speaker goes back to 2008 and 9. That's when I got trained to be a public speaker. I took my first training course on how to become a public speaker. It was, again, a 1-month course. And prior to that, I had no experience of standing in front of a large audience and giving regular lectures. I was working in a financial institution, and in that institution, I had done the job of hosting some programs. I had also taken part in some of the idol contests. Well, not idol as in, the statues, etc., but idol as in, where they are trying to identify creative talents, etc. And I had done a stand-up show at that time. That was way back in 2007 and 8. That was probably the only experience I had of standing in front of the stage and facing an audience. And I can tell you, I was literally shivering. I was trembling out of fear. I was shuddering with the idea as to why did I have to nominate myself for such programs? Because I had never had any trained public speaking, or I had never been trained on how I should handle myself once I'm up on the stage. And I was quite confident that, well, these are my colleagues, I'll be able to be confident. But the moment you go up on the stage and you see all the eyeballs looking at you, that's when you realize that the dynamics have changed now. Now, you start feeling that you're going to be judged. There are people who are waiting for you to make a mistake so that they laugh at you. These are the kind of thoughts which used to come into my mind and would make me go blank. So it was not easy. But when I underwent my public speaking course in 2008 and 9, I think it was 2009 more specifically, in the month of April, that was the turning point for me. That's what changed the entire equation for me. That 21-day training, that 1-month course that I did with the organization which had conducted the course in my city, that allowed me now to come out and speak to a larger audience. It gave me the necessary tips and techniques needed to stand in front of an audience and talk. I was still nervous. I used to still tremble when I used to go up on the stage, but it will only be a matter of time, about another 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, before which I would start settling in, like it happened in today's session as well. That even after all the experience, when I started off this session, there was that level of excitement. I wouldn't call it nervousness. I would say it was a level of excitement to talk to all of you. But that excitement and that little bit of nervousness is very natural. It happens to the best of speakers. So when we are going to address today the subject of how to overcome stage fright, please understand that you're not the only one out there who is suffering or who is struggling to give public talks or to communicate or to present yourself in front of a larger audience. We all go through that. All right. So that's the first tip that I have before we get started off. The second point which I want to mention to you is it is difficult when you start off. It looks impossible when you start off. Look, when I underwent my public speaking course, I was quite confident. I mean, I was very sure that I'll do very well. Well, alhamdulillah, I did well as well. But when I joined and enrolled and the first session took place, I realized where I stood. And I realized how much of hard work and effort is needed in order to develop these skills. It looked impossible in the beginning. I used to wonder, why am I going in for all of this? I don't need to do all of this. But there was a drive. There was a feeling. And in fact, at that point of time, when I did take up this course, no one actually told me about the opportunities it will get for me in my career in the long run. But today, I am able to share that with you with my experience of having worked in corporate organizations, of being with the International Open University and handling the corporate relationship program at the IOU. I can tell you from all my experience of dealing through Aira Consulting and our relationship with all the corporates, how important it is to develop skills of presentation, communication, and public speaking. By taking up courses on public speaking, by removing your fears of public speaking, it doesn't mean that you have to go up on the stage and start talking. Am I going up on the stage and giving a political lecture? No, I'm not doing all of that. Rather, we're having a professional conversation. But what's helping me do this professional conversation? It is my training that I had, the 1 month course that I underwent on public speaking. That, for me, was the turning point in my life. So I see my life as pre-2009, when I was not a trained public speaker, and I see it as post-2009, when I got trained as a public speaker. So it may look impossible. That's the second point which I was saying. It may look impossible in the beginning. It may look difficult in the beginning. It may make you feel, why have I got myself registered for all of this? But be patient. Everything that looks difficult in the beginning has been overcome through discipline and by giving time and practice. You know, lately I have been trying out my cooking skills as well. All right. So I'm trying to cook different kind of preparations. And when I've been doing it, I mean, I remember the first day I had to do it, I was like, why would I want to do all of these things? There are these ready-made cookers which are available. You put everything inside and khalas, in 30 minutes, the food is ready. Why would I want to do all of this? It looked so difficult. It looked impossible for me. But alhamdulillah, I'm on that path. I wouldn't say that I've reached the stage of perfection in cooking, but very soon, you never know. 2 years from now, I'll probably be doing a course on cooking, you know, how to make zafrani chicken. You never know. All right. But that's besides the point. We're not here to talk about how to make food. We're here to talk about how to overcome your stage fright. So let's get the session rolling. And where are we right now? Let me just quickly have the YouTube page open so that I can see all of you. All right. So I can see that there are people who have already started joining into the session. We are also streaming the session on different platforms, so you'll be able to view this course. And all of those who are listening to the recording, by the way, if you have any questions, any doubt, at the end of the session, I will be sharing my contact details. You can always reach out. You can use the chat box as well, the comment section, to share your thoughts. Now, let's start off with understanding what is the common, or what are rather the common causes for stage fright, and what are the manifestations of stage fright. Well, first and foremost, the most common cause of having that fear on the stage where you go completely blank, number one cause is the fear of judgment. The feeling, the thought that I'm being watched, the feeling, the thought that I'm being looked upon, and there are people sitting over there who are out there to criticize me. This is one of the most important cause of having stage fright. In fact, one of the reasons why people don't go up on the stages, I don't want to make a fool of myself. That's what people say. Or they say, I don't want others to have a laugh at my expense. I don't want to become the joker, the clown. So the kind of thoughts that people have, these kind of thoughts will have an impact on your performance on the stage. You're going to go blank on the stage. So the first cause is the judgment issue, the fear of being judged. The second issue is the state of perfectionism. We all like to be perfect. I would like my table to be neat and clean. I would like to make sure that my mic is in order. I would like to make sure that the backgrounds are in order. I would like to make sure that I have my mobile on the right place, the telephone on the table on the right place, the water on the right place, the stationery, everything should be perfect. And then when I start talking, I have to make sure that I'm using the right phrases, that I'm using the right words to connect with people, that I am trying to recall whatever I had memorized, because I don't want any slip-ups. The moment you start thinking so many things at the back of your mind, in the middle of your talk, look, what is public speaking? Public speaking is about storytelling. It's about communicating with people. Like you have your friends, your colleagues, with whom you might be sitting and having a discussion over a cup of tea. That's communication. That's what public speaking is. Public speaking is communication, that you're communicating with people. You're having a conversation with them. You're having a discussion with them. That's what public speaking is all about. So when you're communicating with people over a cup of tea, you don't start thinking whether I have my clothes in order, if I have everything in my table in order, am I using the right phrase? Have I used the words which I had memorized, the statements that I had memorized, the speeches that I had memorized? You don't start thinking so many things. If you start doing all of that, you're going to become nervous, you will go blank. And this is one of the other reasons why people like to avoid the stage. It is to overcome stage fright. They like to avoid the stage because they know that it will create a problem for them. The third thing is lack of preparation. So we were speaking just now about over preparation. There are people who don't prepare themselves. Imagine me turning up for this lecture today. Now I have all my notes written here, right? So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see because of the reflection of the light, but I have all my notes here. So I am referring to some of the key points and I'm explaining them to you. But there are people who will not prepare because they're overconfident. They feel, oh, it's going to be a cakewalk for me. I know everyone here. I'll be able to talk. Now, that overconfidence is going to kill you, because the moment you go up on the stage and you see all your eyeballs looking at you, you will find all the attention is on you. That's when you will now start feeling the nerves. And when you feel that nerve, you will get nervous, and there are chances you're going to make a mess, highly likely to make a mess. The fourth reason why people like to avoid stage or have a stage fright is that they've had negative past experiences. Look, let me be very frank. We've all gone through this in our school life, or at least most of us have gone through this in our school life. Have you had that experience in your school where your teacher picked you out and asked you to stand up and explain something? Or Write, you might have written an essay on some topic that was given to you. Please read out the essay or read out some of the points that you would write for an essay. Now you have all the thoughts in your mind. But when you have to stand and talk and you see all your friends around looking at you, keenly observing you, when you see all those eyes looking at you, even though they are your friends, even though you've been sitting with them, talking with them, laughing with them, eating with them every day, still you get nervous. Still you go blank. Why? Because of the reasons I mentioned. Now, all of this leads to some bad experiences. And then we carry this bad experience with us to our professional world, to our higher classes, where we need to make presentations. You do group projects, you need to present yourself. And you suffer over there, you struggle over there. Why? Because you're carrying your baggage, your luggage from your past. Don't carry your baggage from the past. Leave it behind. The experience is over. It's done and dusted. Khalas, it's over. Now we're going to start afresh. And by the end of this session, you will, inshallah, find ways to overcome those stage fright that you've been having. Okay, so that's one other reason why people go blank. The other issue is having a low self-esteem about yourself. Many people feel, we're not good. I'm not like you. You're a good talker. I'm not that good. Why? Why do you have to consider yourself with such low self-esteem? Think of yourself positively. Maybe you're not trained. So acknowledge the fact that you have a scope of improving. No one was a trained public speaker. By the way, do you know that, as I was mentioning to you, pre-2009, I'd never been on the stage before. My entire school life. And I know many of my friends from my school, they watch my videos, they watch my lectures. They will attest to the fact that I've never been on the school stage, ever. I was not part of the elocutions. I was not part of the choir or anything. Nowhere in my school. Why? Because I would run away, miles away from all these opportunities. I used to feel, I can't do it. I'll go blank. What will people tell me? My voice will, will start croaking in the middle. And I'll start sounding funny. So we used to avoid. Now, that low self-esteem based on experiences, etc., if I was to carry it and drag it with me all throughout, I would not be here talking to all of you. So low self-esteem is another reason why people have stage fright. Another couple of issues that people face is unfamiliarity with the environment in which they're giving lectures, where they're giving a talk. Now, the environment in which you're giving a talk is extremely important. And that's why I will be training this in my upcoming public speaking course, which is starting from December. By the way, please stay tuned. If you have to go somewhere, please make sure that you save this video and you come back and listen to this video, because we're going to talk about an upcoming course which is coming up in the month of December. Starting from December, we have a fantastic public speaking course which is being offered in association with the International Open University. Aira Consulting and IOU are doing it jointly. And only because of the platform of the IOU, we are offering it at an amazing price. We're going to talk about all of that and a little bit more little later, inshallah. So let's stay focused on how we can overcome our stage fright. We were talking about unfamiliarity with the environment in which you are. One of the things which I always advise people when they have any lectures in a new place, you've been to a new place, try and be there one day in advance or a couple of days in advance and visit the venue. Familiarize yourself with the environment around you. We are now talking about the physical environment, the environment in terms of the setup where you will be talking. For example, recently I was invited to do a lecture for the teens on issues relating to finance. And we did a course called Money Explained for them. Now, I had to record some lectures for them. So we had to do some recordings for them, about 6 units of recording. And I requested the organizers that I need to visit the venue one day before the recording. So they were like, why do you need to come? You can come on the day of the venue, no problem, on the day of the recording. I said, I need to come down because I need to familiarize myself. I need to see your setup. I need to know where I will be sitting. Do I have a table in front of me? Do I need to stand and talk? What kind of a mic system do you have? So that when I come the next day, I am prepared mentally as to what environment I'm going to stand and give my lecture. You need to have all of that in your mind. I need to start visualizing. When I close my eyes, I should be able to visualize that I'm standing or sitting or giving a lecture, the table in front of me, and I'm delivering a powerful lecture to all of you. That kind of an imagination requires familiarity with the environment. And many people are unfamiliar with the environment. So the moment you suddenly walk in and you see all these new kind of things in front of you, you don't know how to handle yourself. You become nervous, and that's where you make mistakes. Furthermore, when we talk about unfamiliar environment, it could also be the demographic of your audience. Your audience are the most important aspect of your environment. They are the ones who are your listeners. They are the ones who will give you live feedback. Feedback does not mean that they have to write something or raise their hand and say that, you know what, I like your lecture. No. The live feedback is when you look into their eyes while you're talking, you see the intent or the lack of it. That's your feedback. Now, for you to be sure that you have prepared well for your lecture, you should be familiar with your demographics. Who are my audience? Am I talking to men only or women only or a mix of two? What is the mix? What's the age bracket for men and women? What are their background, profession, career, school, high school, college, university? Which stream are they specializing in? What are the backgrounds of the professionals? Which field are they experts in? Where are the majority coming from? So, for example, I am giving a talk to a group of doctors, medical professionals, the medical fraternity. And I'm giving them examples of the development taking place in the IT world, technology, which they don't understand, though the same tools are used in the medical field. And I could have used those as an appropriate example. But I'm not doing that. What am I doing? I'm speaking Greek. I'm speaking Hebrew or Latin in front of this audience. And what happens to the audience? They're disinterested. They're not interested. They have all their hands folded. They're just listening. When will this get over? When will this music stop playing? That's what they're waiting for. And it starts showing on their face. And you see it. And when you see it, you become nervous. Why am I not getting a positive feedback? Now the fear of criticism, the fear of judgment, low self-esteem, comes in, and it leads you to going blank on the stage. So lack of preparation, and also lack of familiarity with the environment in which you're giving a talk. Furthermore, there are physical symptoms as well. Now, I wouldn't really call it the causes, but these are really the result of all the causes, where you start seeing that your hands are moving, they're trembling, and you start profusely sweating. These are common things which happen when you are giving public talks, you're giving lectures. And of course, the most obvious physical symptom is blank. I go blank. The other way I see many people do in the middle of the talk is to, okay. So while they're talking, okay. So they always keep saying, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. So you know what? Today I'm going to talk about how you can overcome your stage fright. Okay. So now what is this? They're actually trying to tell their audience, please respond to me. Give me a response. I'm begging you. Okay, please. Okay, give me a response. Okay. No, it doesn't happen that way. You're using the wrong fillers in your lecture, in your communication, in your presentation. It's going to backfire. People who are good expert communicator, they will catch that mistake of yours. They will realize that you're not a confident man. You're not a confident lad. You're relying on support mechanism to build in your confidence. Why? Why can't you be confident on your own? What is stopping you from being confident on your own? So these are some of the symptoms you will see, physical symptoms or causes, the list of causes that we discussed for stage fright. Now, the manifestation, which means what do they lead to? As we said, it leads to you going blank. The most obvious manifestation is you go completely blank. There is physical tension. You're nervous before the talk. Hands are getting cold. You're rushing to the washroom every two minutes. Physical tension. You're forgetting your content, what I had to speak in the middle of my lecture, and then while I'm talking to all of you, and that's what happens. You go blank and you don't know where the help is going to come from. And you know why the help will not come? Because you're already nervous. Your system has collapsed. Now, in a collapsed system, which is thinking about being judged. Oh, I went blank. People are going to judge me. Oh, now Zaid is sitting in the audience and Zaid is now going to write a blog on me. And Khalid is going to post on the social media about how poor, pathetic speaker I am. All these thoughts playing in the back of your mind when you go blank. It's going to have a ripple-like effect. All right. The other thing is you start avoiding. So avoidance is another issue where I stop looking at the audience. Like we have seen many people while they're giving a talk. You know what? Once upon a time, when I was staying with my parents, I used to go down the road and with holding my father's hand, not even looking at the audience. I'm looking up at the sky. I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. Look into the eyes of your audience today. This lecture is going live, and I'm looking directly into the camera's lens, because those who are watching me right now live would feel that I'm maintaining eye contact with them. It's because I'm looking directly into the lens of the camera. That's the art of communicating using the technology. I've seen people in front of the cameras or in front of an audience not maintaining eye contact, avoiding the eye contacts, because I know Zaid is sitting there. I know Khalid is sitting there. Or if I see Fatima making faces or feeling sleepy or yawning, I'm going to go nervous. So what do? I avoid. So no one is left. I just start looking up. While I'm talking, I'm just looking in the sky above, hoping, so to say, hoping that Allah's mercy will descend and I'll be bailed out from this situation. But you're not going to be bailed out so soon. All right? Because you are using the avoidance technique. Now, that is, again, a way of trying to hide the fact that you're nervous. You're making it obvious, by the way. All right? So you might be still talking by avoiding the eye contact, but it becomes very obvious. The other way is, of course, to hold your hand and talk and hold it tightly, all right, without any hand movements, without any gestures. Why? Because you're clasping on your hand tightly. You're telling yourself, don't leave me. You're telling your subconscious mind, don't leave my hand. Please stay with me for the next 10 minutes. Relax. Calm yourself. So this is another way, or the manifestation of getting nervous, that you clasp your hands tightly, you hold yourself tightly, literally as though you're promising your subconscious self, I'm never going to leave you. You know what? You're my mate for the rest of my life. Of course, your subconscious is part of you. It's not going to run away anywhere. But the fear of public speaking, the stage fright, leads to this kind of manifestation. There's a lot of negative self-talk which also happens, which also, while you're giving a talk in the middle of the lecture. By the way, when I say all of this, I have experienced it personally, firsthand. So what I'm sharing with you is my firsthand knowledge. Now, you might have experienced something different, something more, something less. Please share in the comment section, what are the challenges that you have faced? What was that embarrassing moment that you've had in your public speaking career or in your presentation career? Don't feel ashamed. Don't worry about being judged. When you share, you're actually trying to overcome those challenges. You're telling yourself that, look, I failed and I will overcome that. So what I was trying to tell you is about negative talk that we do with ourselves. In the middle of the lecture, the subconscious mind starts talking to you. Why did you take up this course? Why did I have to accept this offer? Why did I have to make this presentation? Oh, why did I nominate myself? Why couldn't I send someone else from the team or someone else from the department to make the presentation? Oh, you have messed it, Mansoor. Why did you have to take this up today? Why on a Tuesday when you know you're very busy and occupied? Why did you listen to Salim? All right. Well, Salim is our brother who's helping us out with all the setup right now at the back end. All right. So sorry, brother Salim. Okay. Excessive sweating, as I told you, is also there. And of course, the worst of all, heightened stress levels. I mean, if there is a way to measure stress, and by the way, you have these smartwatches that can measure your stress, do that. After the end of your lecture, check for your stress levels. See to what level it had reached. Heightened stress levels. And naturally, because we spoke about the causes, and now we spoke about the manifestation. So this is regarding the stage fright. Now, it's real. We have all experienced it at the start of our public speaking career. Please understand this. If you are expecting to overcome your fear, you have to acknowledge the fact that there is some things which needs to be fixed. And that is what we're discussing today. It's like swimming. Those of you who know how to swim, you will understand that before you entered the water or the pool, you knew you didn't know how to swim. And you knew the fear of not knowing how to swim, that if you go to go to that portion of the pool which is deep, there's a fear of drowning. If the water has a current, you might get pulled into the deeper side and you may drown. All those fear, concerns, worry, stress, everything happens. So it happens to all of us. You getting my point? Happens to all of us at the start. But how do you overcome that? Discipline. Trust in your ability. You have to have a trust in yourself that, look, if I stay at it, I will overcome, inshallah. All I need to do is give time. They say time is a healer. Well, time is a lot of things, all right? One of the things that time does is it makes you expert with practice and discipline. Two things I'm talking about today, stressing again and again, or rather, I'll say three things. One is practice, other is discipline, and third is time. Give your time. Unless you give your time, unless you're willing to see that change in yourself, do you want to see yourself confident? Ask yourself. No, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I am. No, you are not a person who is aspiring big in life. You have a very average aspiration. And people who excel are those who have big aspirations. And people who fail are those who have big aspirations in life. Because if you don't have any aspirations, you're never going to fail and you're never going to succeed. You're going to be at the same level all throughout. But if you have aspirations, you will go up, you will go down, but you will keep moving up in the long run. Over a long time frame, you will see that your graph is going up. In the short run, you may see failures, you may see success. But in the long run, you'll be a different person. So ask yourself today, are you the same person that you were 5 years back? Do you want to remain the same person 5 years from now? If the answer to that is yes, well, then I think you need to find someone to help you. But if the answer to that is no, you don't want to see yourself the same 5 years from now, you want to see a better version of yourself, and you want to keep striving for another better version of yourself, you need to work on developing skills within you. And we are discussing the most important art of, or rather most important skill, which is the art of communication through public speaking, through presentations. Now, how can we overcome this fright that we've been discussing, all these stage fright and so on and so forth that we've been discussing? How do I overcome those? First and foremost, and I'm going to just share 4 tips with you today. First is breathing exercises. Second is visualization technique. The third is having positive affirmation. And the last one is power posing. So we'll go through each one of them one by one. First, of course, is breathing exercises. This has immensely helped me in my public speaking pursuit. which is deep breathing. Firstly, it should be a habit that you should try and take out, whenever you're walking or doing a basic exercise, at the end of it, take 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 20 minutes time to yourself and do some deep breathing exercises. But if you can't do it daily, at least on the day of your lecture, on your talk, try and do at least 15 to 20 minutes, like they say, meditation, where you do a bit of breathing exercises. You breathe in deep through your nostrils and you breathe out. That's how you do it. So do these breathing exercises. This is the first way to overcome the state of stress, the nervousness, the anxiety. Oh, look what has happened through all these thoughts. I'm being watched. I'm being judged. Khalid is watching me. Fatima is feeling sleepy. Zaid is going to post a post on the social media. All of this is creating anxious moments in my life. My anxiety levels have shot up. You need to calm it down, bring it down. How do you do it? Breathe in and then exhale out from your mouth. That's how you do it. Breathing exercises 15 to 20 times at least before your talk. Go to a peaceful place, go to the green room. Or if you're coming in a car to the venue, stay in the car for 10 minutes. Relax yourself, calm yourself. Do this breathing exercise and techniques wherever you are, even if you're on the move. You don't really need to go to any place. Even if you're sitting in the audience as a guest speaker, you can do some breathing exercises. Who cares what people will think? People are not going to judge me on the basis of my breathing exercises. They're out there to listen to me on the stage, and I need to be the best on the stage. That's what you're preparing for through this breathing exercises. So the first tip is breathing exercise. The second is visualization technique. Remember I said you need to be familiar with the environment, and I spoke of two environments. The first was the physical environment, and the second I spoke of was the demographics, the audience, the profiling of your audience, who your audience is. You should start visualizing in your mind that I'm giving a talk, I'm giving a lecture, and I have all the PhDs sitting in front of me, right? In the university, you have a lot of these research scholars. All the research scholars are sitting in front of me, and I'm standing and giving a talk to all of them, and they're listening to me, and I'm speaking like the king on the stage, or I'm speaking like the queen on the stage. That's the motivation and confidence you should have in your mind. Start visualizing yourself. Don't visualize yourself as a failure. If you visualize yourself as a failure, you will end up being one of them. Visualize yourself positively. See the positive in you. Visualize yourself as a king on the stage, making a powerful speech, making a powerful impact in your presentation. That's what you have to start visualizing. So the visualization technique, my dear colleagues and my dear friends and my dear students, all of those who are listening to this, it is to start imagining in your mind that you're standing and giving a talk to an audience, and you are seeing that you're doing very well for yourself. You're making a powerful presentation, even though it's all in the mind. But the game starts here, not on the stage. The game starts here. It leads you to the stage. So start winning the battle here. You will conquer the stage, inshallah. That's a simple rule that I'm sharing with you. Look, all of this which I'm sharing with you is tried and tested. The third important tip which I wanted to share with you was on the issue of power posing, or before that, positive affirmations. It's linked to the visualization technique. Remember, we spoke about the negative talk that we do with ourselves. Change that to the positive talk. Start telling yourself, I'll be able to do it. Look into the camera and tell yourself, for example, right now, I can see myself in the, through the camera, I'm able to see myself. So I'm talking to myself and I'm telling myself, I'll do it. I'm a good speaker. I'm sure I'm going to conquer the stage. You have to have that positive affirmation. You need to tell yourself that you are the best once you're on the stage. Look, we are not talking about arrogance here. All right? We're not trying to say that you have to go and tell 100 people you are the best. You don't have to tell them. I'm saying you need to tell yourself. Do you believe that you are good? You need to tell yourself. Speak to your subconscious mind. Instead of holding the hands of your subconscious mind, leave the hand. Okay? Like they say, if you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they're yours. If they don't come back, they never were yours. All right. So I'm telling you, if you love yourself, leave the hand of your subconscious mind and tell your subconscious mind, I know you can do it. I trust your ability. I know, Mansoor, you are a great speaker. Speak to yourself. Give that positive affirmation to yourself. Unless you inject that powerful dose into your subconscious mind, how will you perform on the stage? How will you perform once you're out there talking to the audience? So positive affirmation was the third important tip which I wanted to share. The last tip which I wanted to share is power posing. See, what happens is when we are a little nervous, we tend to move to the corner. We're a little nervous when we are talking. Yes, today I'm going to talk to you about how to overcome stage fright. Look, you are already frightened. I can make out from your voice. I can make out from your pose. I can make out from your physical presence and demeanor on the stage. Have a power posing. When you come on the stage, speak with your hands out, chest out. Be confident. When you are doing your rehearsals at home, and by the way, we have a lot of rehearsals which we wanted to discuss. I don't think we'll have enough time to talk about that today. But when you're doing your rehearsals at home, when you're practicing, and when you join my public speaking course, there will be a lot of practice and rehearsals you have to do. That's where you need to have your chest out. You need to speak to yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you should see the confidence inside you, oozing confidence. That's what I want you all to have. So these are the 4 important tips which I wanted to share with you on how you can overcome stage fright. Now, there are a lot of things that you have to develop within you, and they are called the techniques of public speaking. The way you draft the speech, the way you speak about your storyline, etc., the art of storytelling in communication. There's a lot of things to talk of in communication, in public speaking. But that is being reserved for the D-Day, the public speaking course. And that is what I wanted to talk of with all of you today. We have a public speaking course which is coming up in the month of December, and I wanted to quickly run you through that. I will be personally conducting this public speaking course, and we are choosing only a small batch at a time. So we have a very small number of people we're taking in a batch, only 10 people in a batch. But because we've had a lot of demand for this, we have opened up more batches as well. So what you have to do is you need to immediately register and block the seat for yourself. The session is starting in December. It is a 1-month course spread across 8 sessions. So you have about 8 sessions that you will have. In this 8th session, we will take you through the techniques of public speaking, the art of handling the mic, the art of handling the cameras, the art of audience profiling, demographic profiling, the art of storytelling, the art of drafting an effective speech, the art of using notes, the art of handling question and answers which you're not prepared for, the art of debating, the art of handling a conflict-like scenario. There's a lot of things to do in 8 sessions, but we will be doing all of that. But for me, all of this is not important. The most important thing that we do in the 8-day session is the one-on-one presentation that you have to make. You will be making live presentations in front of me, and I will be giving you live feedback on where you're going wrong, and you have to keep coming back to me this entire month till, inshallah, on the final day, you're able to stand on the stage and give a talk. We've trained many people in the past. We've trained over 100 people in the past, mashallah, and they have been all good speakers. It took them time, but they were able to overcome their fears and their challenges. So now you have a golden opportunity to register for this public speaking course. If you have joined this session live, you can go to the IOU page, the International Open University page on the social media, Facebook, and you can find the link to register for this course. By the way, let me just tell you something very important. The pricing for this course. This course is normally offered at over $2,000. But exclusively For the International Open University platform, we're offering it at $69 only for the full month course. So this is a golden opportunity to study one-on-one with me, understand the art of communication, overcome your challenges of communication by being part of this course. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining me for the live session. Of course, we're live on YouTube today. So if there are any questions, I can see some questions which have come up in the chat box. Someone is saying that the video is getting stuck somewhere. Well, you can have a look at the recording. Sanjita, if you're facing some issues with the recording, I don't really see anything wrong with the video. So you can please go back and have a look at the recordings once more and register for the course. Zishan wants to know, you are suggesting that we should bother about the comments if somebody is judging us? No, Zishan. If somebody is judging you, you should, well, the point that I wanted to say was, we were identifying why do people become nervous. All right. So in that, we mentioned that one of the reasons why people have stage fright is because they think they are being judged. All right. That's what they start thinking. Now, how do you overcome that thought process? For that, I would like to see you for the public speaking course. Join me for that public speaking course on how you can change the whole game for yourself. So we're calling it the game changer. The course is the game changer in your life. Join us for that course. Another participant, Abduhu, would like to register for the course. Ahlan wa sahlan, akhi. Please join us for the course. You can visit the link, inshallah, and register for the course. In fact, what I'll do quickly now is I will quickly try and see if I can share the link with you all on the YouTube page right now, the registration link. Just give me a second, give me a moment. I am just trying to pull out the link for registration. And then you can use this link. Yeah, I got the link. So for those of you who are showing interest to register, you can just check out the link here, which I shared from Aira Consulting. All right, this is the link. I'm going to share it once more. Link to register. Yep. I've shared the link. You have the links now. You've attended the exclusive session. I hope you found it beneficial. To all those who are listening to the recording of the session, I hope you found it beneficial as well. Please share the video with anyone who you know is struggling with his public speaking skills or his communication skills. And by the way, the art of communication and public speaking, as I mentioned in the beginning, is not something which is only meant for professionals or only meant for leaders or entrepreneurs. It is a criteria, a requirement for everyone, mandatory. Whether in your personal life, in your relationships, in your interactions with your families and friends and relatives, or at your workplace, with your clients, as an entrepreneur, talking about your business, you need to talk using communication skills. When you see all those great leaders out there, whether they are the CEOs of the best of companies, the mobile phone companies, the energy companies, the oil companies, whichever companies you talk of, the thing that stands out about them is the art of public speaking, the art of communication. Now you have an opportunity to start your journey to overcome these challenges. It's a journey that you take over a period of time. If you ask me 10 years back to do this, I would not have been able to do it. It's a journey that we reach at different points of time in our life, and we keep moving up in that journey. We don't stop. All right. So that is something which I will suggest to you. Okay, I can see something being shared by Sanjita, so I'll quickly take that. Sanjita says, I've been always on the stage for choir and speeches during my school days. Now I have a lot of hesitations and I don't know why. I'll tell you something simple, Sanjita. One of the reasons for that is like a sword. You know, the sword, if you don't use it, what happens? It gets rusted. You know, language, when you talk in different languages, for example, you learned Arabic, but you don't speak in Arabic, what happens? You forget the words, you forget the vocabulary. Likewise, if your public talks and speeches, if you're not giving regular talks and speeches, and if you're not being able to identify where you're going wrong, which as a trainer, as an expert in communication, I help you do that. I help you identify where is it that you're going wrong. Okay, so that is going to come up on Zoom, by the way. This entire session we will be having 1 month long is on Zoom. So you can join from any part of the world and be part of our journey to become great communicators. Thank you for your participation in the chat box. Thank you for your time that you have spent in listening for the session. I would also like to thank the International Open University for your support and your help in arranging this session. Thank you all. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.